Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the Bitcoin bull market is continuing as the price of Bitcoin has just hit a new all-time high, playing out this huge cup and handle pattern following the gold chart, which is telling us that Bitcoin is still due to pump much higher, as the price of Bitcoin is now officially breaking out above this Fibonacci extension, heading towards the next major price target, which I'll talk about in just a moment, as a major short squeeze is playing out right now, while Ethereum is still struggling around this area of resistance in the short term, while Solana has now officially retested this previous area of resistance, now acting as new support. So I'll be talking about all of that and so much more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today, we need to talk about the news today, because just recently, over the last few hours, we saw CPI inflation come in at 2.6% year over year, which was the expected outcome. As I said in my last video, expect 2.6%. So relatively speaking, this was quite neutral for the markets. But with that being said, a lot of traders were obviously waiting for this number. And then as soon as this number came out, the traders have actually started to price in for a rate cut at the next Fed meeting. Already, this was the highest probability outcome at the next Fed meeting just next month in December. But with that being said, the chances of that rate cut have now increased from around 69% probability yesterday to now almost a 79% probability today. And so even though inflation came in at expectations, which should be relatively neutral, once again, a lot of people might have just been waiting for that number to come in case it came in higher than expected in order to actually fully start to price in that rate cut at the next Fed meeting. And as I explained in my last video in more detail, rate cuts is bullish. And so with the probability increasing for a rate cut at the next Fed meeting on the 18th of December, once again, this is bullish and one of the reasons as to why Bitcoin and crypto is pumping right now. But with that being said, another reason why markets are bullish right now, especially Bitcoin in particular, is due to the fact that the Bitcoin ETFs are still seeing massive inflows as of right now on Monday and here on Tuesday. First of all, as I said yesterday, on Monday, of course, we had that huge net inflow of 1.1 billion US dollars. But just yesterday on Tuesday, it turns out we saw another massive net inflow of over 800 million US dollars flowing into the Bitcoin ETFs to buy up Bitcoin. So right now we're seeing massive demand coming in from Wall Street through the Bitcoin ETFs to buy up massive amounts of Bitcoin, which is helping to push the price of Bitcoin much higher, because obviously there's a limited amount of Bitcoin to go around. So if we're seeing huge purchases of Bitcoin through the Bitcoin ETFs, ultimately this will restrict the supply of Bitcoin and force the price of Bitcoin higher moving forward, as we're seeing these huge net inflows. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today on the weekly time frame, we're still seeing this huge breakout, the bullish reversal playing out in the weekly Bitcoin RSI, which the last two times this has happened, this has basically been a major bull market signal, as I've been saying over and over again here on the channel over the last couple of months now, because we initially saw this breakout in the weekly Bitcoin RSI around early to mid-September. And ever since then, we've continued the breakout in the weekly RSI, which has been a very bullish signal for Bitcoin. And usually this bull market signal plays out over at least a matter of months, but usually up to around a year or so. And it's only been around 1 to 2 months since this signal actually confirmed, which means we should still be due to see a major bull run or a bull market over the following months, well into 2025. And so if you're just finding this channel now, if you're brand new to crypto, don't be fooled. You are not too late to Bitcoin right now, even though the price is at all-time highs, because obviously the price of Bitcoin was at all-time highs yesterday, the day before that, but Bitcoin keeps pumping higher because we're in the middle of a major bull run that is likely going to last for months. And so definitely make sure you're subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos, and share these videos around while you still can, because right now is where all the opportunity is in the price of Bitcoin and crypto. But with that being said, taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still playing out this huge bull bullish cup and handle pattern. As I said a couple of videos ago now on the channel, we're playing out a massive cup and handle pattern, which is a bullish pattern, and it's extremely similar to the gold chart. Yes, gold, this is actually on the monthly time frame, and right now we've already played out a huge cup and handle pattern with a major breakout in the price of gold over the last 1 year approximately, and we are just now starting to repeat this breakout right here, but instead for gold, obviously for Bitcoin right now. So we're just in the beginning stages of this huge breakout to the upside, basically showing very similar price structure to what we've seen for gold, but right now playing out for Bitcoin. And the technical price target based on the linear chart right here, the technical price target for this bullish cup and handle pattern on the weekly Bitcoin chart is sitting at around $126,000 per Bitcoin. So 126,000 is the technical price target, at least based on this pattern right here. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at this 4-day Bitcoin chart, of course, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green. As I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, this is a major bullish signal. So expect a bull run in the price of Bitcoin while this indicator is in the green, which it is right now. And if we're taking a look at the 2-day time frame, of course, the price of Bitcoin is continuing that huge bullish breakout from this descending broadening wedge pattern, which I've been talking about since all the way back down here when the price was at around $65,000. I said that is the point to flip extremely bullish again after this huge larger bearish trend. Once we broke 65,000, that was the point to flip extremely bullish, which I said on the channel back then. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin chart, right now the price of Bitcoin has just broken out above the 1618 Fibonacci extension, which was sitting at approximately $89,000 per Bitcoin. And just in the short term, for a couple of days, that did act as a bit of short-term resistance. But once again, right now we're seeing a huge bull market play out. We've seen a lot of bullish momentum. So right now we've obviously started to break through that $89,000 level. And the next major Fibonacci extension, at least based on this chart right here, is the 2618 Fibonacci extension, and that's sitting at approximately $113,000 per Bitcoin. So 113K is the next major price target, at least based on this chart. But if we're taking a look at this 3-day Bitcoin chart, looking at the same Fibonacci extension from this swing high close to 74,000 down to the swing low, but instead of looking at this linear settings right here, the linear scale, looking at the logarithmic scale, we have the 1618 Fibonacci extension. So the same extension level, but on the different scale, the logarithmic scale, this is sitting at around 94 to 95,000. And so just keep this in mind. Obviously, it does not mean that the price is just going to crash once we hit 94 to 95,000, but keep in mind it's possible we could find some resistance around there. So that's a possible price target to pay attention to in the short term. But obviously, if we break through 95,000, then the next price target is that major 100K level. And beyond 100K, once again, we're looking at that 113K price target. And beyond that point, we're looking at this 126K price target for this cup and handle pattern. And on top of all of that, if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool from the previous bull market all-time high at around 69,000 down to the bear market bottom, this places the 1618 Fibonacci extension at around 102,000. So just above 100K, that could also be a potential point of resistance and a price target to watch out for. So those are all of the levels that I'm watching right now. Once again, around 94 to 95,000. If we break 95,000, then watch out for around 102,000. If we break out above that level, watch out for 113,000. If we break that level, then watch out for 126,000 for this bullish breakout price target. And as I've said over and over again recently here on the channel, despite what happens in the short term, if for whatever reason we see a slight little pullback or rejection from resistance, those are just buying opportunities, because right now we're in a major bullish market, clearly showing a lot of bullish momentum. So I'll not be looking for short positions or anything right now, because shorting Bitcoin right now is very, very dangerous. It's like longing Bitcoin during a major crash. That would be very, very dangerous. And so once again, if for whatever reason we see a slight little pullback in the short term, that's perfectly normal to see. Don't panic sell your entire crypto portfolio just if we see a slight little pullback or rejection from resistance. Once again, those are potential buying opportunities, because we're clearly in a very bullish market here on the larger timeframes, as I've been saying for a long time now on the channel. And in case you're wondering, personally, I'm still long on the price of Bitcoin, trading this bull market to the upside. And if you also want to maximize your profits in crypto, personally, I take most of my trades over on Bybit, so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a 500 USDT position airdrop. So basically a free $500 trade as your first trade over on Bybit, but that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there's also Bitfinex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitfinex, which means if you're in the US or the UK, for example, or another country where you might not be able to access Bybit, you can access Bitfinex. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitfinex below this video. And if you use that link, you can get up to a 5.5k deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the Bitfinex exchange forever. But that's only if you use the link below this video to make your Bitfinex account. And so as another option out there, other than Bybit, one that you can access from the US, once again, there's Bitfinex, links down below if you want to claim those extra bonuses. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, looking at the last 1 month worth of price action, and we can see right now the price of Bitcoin is grabbing that next major area of liquidity that was sitting in between around $90,000 to around $92,000. So basically, we're liquidating a bunch of shorts positions right now, also known as a short squeeze, because when shorts close or get liquidated, they essentially have to buy back into Bitcoin in order to cover their short position, which pushes the price higher, which liquidates more shorts positions, which pushes the price higher, and so on. That's what a short squeeze is. And right now we're seeing exactly that. And as I've been saying over the last couple of weeks here now on the channel, we've seen short squeeze after short squeeze after short squeeze, wiping out all of these shorts, all of this liquidity to the upside. And in case you're wondering, the next liquidity to the upside is sitting at around 93,000 approximately. And then we have a lot of liquidity at around 95,000 to 96,000, and a massive amount of liquidity at just around $100,000 and just above 100,000. And so essentially, once we start breaking out above those levels on the price chart, expect a continued short squeeze, pushing the price much higher. And some other good news today is the fact that the Bitcoin and crypto funding rates have cooled off at least a little bit from yesterday. So they're still very much above the neutral funding rate of 0.01%, but especially the token margin funding rates over here are basically cooled off back to neutral. And these USDT margin funding rates are basically just above neutral. They're not as overheated as what they were just yesterday. So this is some good news, basically pointing towards potentially more bullish price action based on the funding rates cooling off just a little bit. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame, right now the price of ETH is still playing out the bull run after the bullish reaction from this line of support, which was sitting at around 2.4k. So not much has changed on the weekly time frame. We're still looking very much bullish right now. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day time frame, right now the price of ETH is still playing out the bull run, obviously, as of right now. Once we broke out above 2.8k, that was the signal to flip extremely bullish. And ever since then, we've seen a huge pump to the upside. And right now we're trading above that important 3.2k level, which is some good news right now, at least in the short term. But of course, we have found some resistance close to 3,500. But if we break out above 3,500, then the next major price target is at around 3.9k to 4k, which we should find some decent resistance at around that price range based on these previous highs. And in the shorter term, looking at the daily time frame, the price is still somewhat struggling just in the short term around this area of resistance in between around 3430 to 3560 approximately. So right now, expect resistance, aka some selling pressure in that price range, which is exactly what we saw just here over the last couple of days as expected. But remember, as I've been saying here on the channel, despite what happens in the shorter term, possibly slight little pullbacks or rejections from resistance, when we're zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, things are still looking very bullish right now here on the larger timeframes. And as for support, we should find some support at roughly around 31.50 approximately, which is close to where we've bounced from just recently. So expect support right here. And if we were to break back below that level, then in that case, expect more support closer towards around $3,000. But with that being said, once again, on the larger timeframes, we're still very much bullish. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the daily time frame, over the last couple of days, we saw that breakout above this area of resistance in between around $200 to $210. And then we saw a slight little pullback here, basically retesting this previous area of resistance, sitting in between 200 to 210 once again. But right now, that is acting as new support. As I explained in my last video, expect support in this price range, which, in case you're new to all of this, support is essentially where a lot of buyers are coming into play. There's demand to buy Solana in this price range, which is exactly what we saw as expected. The price entered into this price range in between 200 to 210, and then we got bought up out of that price range. And right now we're bouncing from that range, which means we have confirmed that area as new support, which is bullish price structure, because previously this was resistance, and anytime where we're breaking out above resistance and then flipping that into new support, that is price structure heading in the bullish direction. And so right now, the next major price target for Solana, at least on the larger timeframes, obviously there might be other points where we could see slight little short-term resistance along the way, but zooming out on the larger timeframes, the next major point of resistance, the next major price target is basically the all-time high at around 250 to 260. So we should find some decent resistance around there, and that's a major price target once again at around 260. But if we can break out above 260, obviously we're simply heading into all-time highs for Solana after 260, which would be extremely bullish. And obviously we've seen what Bitcoin did once we broke out above its all-time high, absolutely explode to the upside. So overall, just to summarize, everything is basically looking very bullish right now, breaking out above key levels of resistance. And once again, if you want to maximize your profits in crypto by trading these moves, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.